Hey guys, just knocking out this keys to victory and strategy video for Usyk Fury, or Fury Usyk. I'm very unwell, so I do apologise for my voice. I'm sounding probably like John Fury here, and I apologise if I cough. I won't be doing too much video analysis because I've got a splitting migraine. It's dreadful. It's hard for me to even look at the screen, and also, if YouTube flags my video, then I'm screwed basically. Anyway, as an amateur boxer, I was in a unique position. I was very tall and long-armed for the height, extremely skinny, and I'd often come across smaller guys who could move, some of which were southpaws, and it took me a long time to figure out how to deal with these people. On a side note, the British amateur boxing system didn't teach me at all. They just say, use your long arms, jab, keep it on the outside. And this sounds good advice until you realise the guy's got a coordination and speed advantage over you, and they can anticipate everything you're doing. So, what I learned, and this is the keys to victory for Tyson Fury, is you either want to throw single authoritative jabs, this is on the outside, single authoritative jabs, light flicking jabs, or power shots. What you don't want to do is double and triple up your jab, unless you're just flicking your wrist out like Tyson Fury does. And this goes against the conventional wisdom that I've heard from everyone. Use a jab, keep Usyk at bay, keep Usyk at bay. If Tyson throws 2 or 3 jabs in a row, and they're authoritative jabs, it gives Usyk plenty of time to move and take Tyson Fury off balance. If you throw flicking jabs, it's a different situation. It just sort of blinds them, and you're not having to move your body into it at all. If you throw power shots on the outside, then yes, you can still fall off balance, but you're doing more damage than you would with a jab if it does land, and also you're making the outside dangerous terrain, which is exactly what Tyson Fury needs to do. He needs Usyk to linger inside for too long. He needs Usyk right up close to him for too long for this fight. He can't have Usyk at the mid-range, he can't have Usyk at the long range. He doesn't want Usyk going from close to mid-range in and out. He needs Usyk to linger. And throwing power shots on the outside is one of my keys to victory for Tyson Fury. I would throw straight shots and whip body shots to Usyk's lats, not to Usyk's body, as in his stomach. I would look to aim for his lats. Okay? Another thing Tyson can do is, with these guys with the coordination gap, you have to understand every fighter has an ego, and they have a certain amount of confidence about them. Every fighter can get overconfident. If Tyson decides to back up and flick a jab out, then Usyk will get comfortable coming forward and lingering on the inside. This is what Tyson needs Usyk to do, to linger on the inside. I'm going to keep saying it till I'm blue in the face, okay? Usyk needs to linger on the inside. If Usyk thinks, oh wait, he's throwing power shots at long range, but not power shots at close range, he will come in confident to the close range, and he will linger, and Tyson can set Usyk up for an uppercut. And this is a shot that works very, very well against southpaws, the right uppercut, and it's something Tyson's pretty good with. Now, this is actually kind of a Kronk strategy to base your strategy on one punch. Now, what I'd do if I was Tyson is I would showboat at long range, because this goads Usyk in, but also Usyk would be thinking, well, he's throwing power punches and he's showboating, people think he's winning at long range, even if these aren't landing. And then Usyk is likely to come in. If I was Fury, I would play up to the coordination gap. I would act very clumsy on the inside for the first round or two. I would want Usyk to come in overconfident on the inside, and he's come in with this extra weight. He obviously feels he can bully Fury. Now, because boxing is largely about the psychological warfare when you're in there, it really is. Now, Fury needs to throw a lead hook, but he needs to flick it. I talked about this in my part 1 keys breakdown, is that the lead flicking hook from Fury could work very well against Usyk. I found that to be more effective at long range than a straight right hand, because a straight right hand requires a lot of rotation, and that long movement of a straight right hand, you've made all this rotation, now you've got to rotate backwards to be able to move. By that point, the more mobile guy has come in, hit you with shots and got out. That to me is a much better left hook. Now, is a much better shot to use against southpaws who are shorter than you, is the flicking left hook, or a slapping left hook, like Tyson throws it. Lots of people talking about the Maris Breedis fight and saying, you need to study that. I totally disagree. I've said this a million times. Not only do styles make fights, dimensions make fights. The lead left hook that Breidis was throwing, he was getting a lot of rotation into that shot. He could do that because he was around the same height as Usyk, if not a bit shorter. If you start throwing a lot of rotating shots at long range against the shorter mobile guy, they're going to come in and beat the F out of you. There's been a lot made about Joshua now leaning into his right hand, and that'll be the secret to knocking out Usyk. I disagree. If he throws that lead right hand the way he's throwing it now, at long range, Usyk's going to anticipate and come in and hit Joshua. For me, this will sound controversial, you want your shots at long range to be arm shots against a guy who's got the coordination and got better coordination, better speed, and is shorter. Because not only that, if you're going to rotate your shots, you then have to dip your knees even further to land them. You want to be able to have as little tail on your shots as possible. If Tyson starts trying to throw loads of authoritative jabs, or jabbing to Usyk's body, or throwing straight rights to his body at long range, Tyson's going to have to bend down to do that, particularly the body shots. Usyk will see a bend in the knees, change his angle, hit Fury and be out. If Fury starts body hunting at long range, I'm calling it now, he's going to get knocked out. Or at least, or stopped, or dropped multiple times. I don't think he'd last the distance, in all honesty. So yeah, there's some my keys to victory, so I just thought of a few more. As I said, I'm not with it today at all. Now, in terms of Usyk's body, I do think Usyk is weak to the body, and let me show you something real quick. See Usyk's body here? Do you see this lump? Do you see this? Here, let's look at another picture. See that? It's more clear there. There's a lump. To me, it's clear that Usyk has either had a hernia in the past or has one now. Yeah, I think that's why Usyk is weak to the body, and I believe he is weak to the body. In terms of what Fury needs to do at the mid-range, I would say go to the Philly shell defence and twist away a lot. Twist away. Make Usyk come forward. Be defensively responsible, very defensively responsible at the long and mid-range. Do not stop trying to throw a ton of power shots if you haven't got Usyk hurt at long range, okay? Keep it so that you can move away if Usyk mounts an attack and it's just too much. In terms of the next key to victory for Tyson Fury, it's to initiate the clinches, and actually this is a key to victory for both fighters, but depending on the positioning of the clinch depends on who's going to get the benefit on this clinch, because Fury's heavier, but I think Usyk is stronger. I think he has more force to push Usyk back, especially in the leverage position that Usyk will be in. If Fury is going to get into clinches, he needs to make sure he's leaning down on Usyk. Now, I don't like this because that is cheating, but that is a key to victory. I mean, I've used it, I have to admit. Now, on the inside, what you can do, what Fury can do is with his right arm, tie up Usyk's right arm, okay? And, sorry guys, and with that space, now he's got, so picture he's got Usyk's right arm, start digging in left hooks to the body now, and it doesn't have to be low to the body, you can dig in left hooks to the body. Another thing you can do is tie up his left arm with your left arm, and you can start throwing him around, or you can try going for uppercuts to the body. But what is important for Fury to do if he's going to throw an uppercut to the chin is make sure his left hand is touching Usyk's head, so that Fury can easily measure where the shot is going to go. And ideally, you want to catch Usyk dipping down as he does it. It's easier said than done, but this is what I found very effective against shorter guys who had the mobility and speed. Something else, when I faced southpaws, particularly short southpaws, I learnt is, okay, so as we know, orthodox fighters often struggle with southpaws because the left and right hand keep clashing as they're jostling for position to find the jab. Now, if you're the taller, heavier guy, use that to your advantage. You go, well, how can you do that? Well, you just have to accept that you're not getting punched. Okay, all the time that you're jostling for this position, you're not getting punched. So make it count. Constantly have your hand touching his hand. This is putting physical and psychological pressure on him. Now, as long as you're in a position to move away, it doesn't matter if they mount an attack, as long as you anticipate it. Don't try and play the southpaw at their own game. Don't be trying to jostle for position for landing the jab. Forget about it completely. Only throw flicking jabs or the occasional authoritative jab, as I've said before, and just allow your hands to clash, clash, clash. The whole time that they're clashing and they're not landing, as long as you're backing them up, they're going to be uncomfortable and wasting mental energy, okay? And Tyson Fury can also switch hit if he wants to land the jab. But personally, as I said, I don't think it's a good idea for him to start landing that jab at long range. Start throwing the jab at long range in multiple jab combinations. So I wouldn't say throw 2 jabs, 2, 3, 4 jabs, power jabs that is. Sorry, like I said, I'm all over the place. I'm very unwell, guys. If Tyson does switch to southpaw, that could be to his benefit, because he could throw that open hand hook and it might be more powerful than his open hand left hook. But typically that's not the case. Another key to victory for Tyson Fury would be to throw a corkscrew punch. That's what I know it as anyway. It's essentially where your palm is up and you throw a straight shot. That kind of jab can be very useful against a shorter guy, especially if you start shooting it to the arms and shoulders, which I think Fury should consider doing, is just landing on any part of Usyk's body. Don't necessarily head or body hunt, be happy with landing on the shoulders, arms, chest, back, lats, that kind of area. Now, the keys to victory for Alexander Usyk. Number 1, don't overthink things. When you've got this much of an athleticism gap, you've just got to let it flow and just take the opportunities as you see them, or even before you see them. Just anticipate. Um, Having been the guy with the coordination advantage and speed advantage, and got in there with taller guys, it's very, very, very common to overthink things, especially if they're heavier than you and they're doing like I said, where they're just constantly keeping their left hand in your face. They're constantly keeping their lead hand in your face. It causes psychological pressure. Just let it flow, okay? Get under the lead hand and throw the combinations. 1 second. Number 2, vary the power on your shots. Now, Usyk is someone who, to me, has never really, at heavyweight, unleashed his full arsenal. If you look at him as a cruiserweight, he could really rip combinations, and it looked like he was hitting even harder. If you look at the 12th round of the first Joshua fight, where Usyk was going in on Joshua, to me, Usyk didn't look to be putting everything into it. And actually, 1 second, I'll show you something quick. Okay, guys, I'm trying to find what I was looking for, but as I said, this migraine is making it impossible to watch any boxing. But hopefully, I'm better so I can watch the fight tomorrow. But Usyk often falls off balance when he attacks. This is going back to keys to victory for Tyson, why I feel it's so important to make Usyk come in too confident. Usyk often falls off balance when he really mounts an all-out assault. So there we have that. Back to Alexander Usyk, is use your lead hand as a measure. Just if you've got your lead hand out and you're at the mid-range, it's a lot easier to anticipate your backhand, where it's going to land. So keep the lead hand out as a measure, which is something that Usyk really enjoys doing anyway. And again, Tyson can exploit that by grabbing it with his own right hand and then starting digging it in shots to the body. Another key to victory for Usyk, and I hate saying this because I don't want anyone to fight dirty, but if Fury starts to fight dirty and the referee isn't correcting it, Usyk needs to fight dirty himself. And how he can do that, and something that I hated being done to me as a taller fighter from a southpaw, was for the southpaw to step on the lead foot. If you've got the faster feet, the better judge of distance, and the other guy's fighting dirty, again, all's fair in love and war, as they say. If the referee isn't stopping Fury from fighting dirty, then Usyk needs to step on Fury's lead foot, throw punches when being stood on his left foot. It's really that simple. Another key to victory for Usyk is if Fury gets on top of him and starts leaning down, just take a knee. Take a knee. Do what David Haye did. Take a knee. Say, no, I'm not letting him lean on me like that. I'm taking a knee. I think that's going to be important for Usyk. Next of all is the style of jab. At the mid-range, as they say, you can jab with a jabber. I'd say that Usyk should use his pendulum step, which is where you sort of bounce in and out, light on your feet, with a cross jab. So that's what I know it as anyway. What a cross jab is if you look at Joshua's glove, normally you're trying to connect with the knuckle here. With a cross jab, you're trying to connect with the side part where your pinky would be, right here. So you do that by turning your hand over a bit. You don't need to get much snap in it, no real power, but what it's used for is to lacerate or cut people. And I think it comes from Soviet boxing, actually. It's something that Usyk can definitely use against Tyson Fury to potentially open up that cut. Next key to victory for Usyk is initiate the clinches. Again, I don't like clinches. I don't want to see too much clinching, but Usyk needs to make sure he gets underneath Tyson if there is a clinch. And Tyson's got lots of gaps in his body, as in look at Joshua. He's got massive arms, massive chest, obliques and all this. It makes it very hard to get your arms under him. But with Tyson, that's not so difficult because he's got gaps. You can easily get your hands underneath. And actually a key to clinching isn't necessarily always to push, it's to lift. Start lifting, then your opponent starts having to go back even if they're stronger. Which also brings me to the next key to victory. Use your strength. Now, I think Usyk is going to do this based on the weigh-in. I think Usyk is the physically stronger of the two here. I know Fury is heavier, but I believe Usyk is stronger. Let me go into depth about this just one more. Now guys, I'm going to play this at quarter speed. Hopefully I don't get copyright flagged. If I do, you can go to this video, go to 4850 and see exactly what I'm on about. I'm going to play the clip. This is after Joshua has hurt Usyk in the 9th round, okay? I'm going to play the clip, then I'll tell you what I see here and what I saw live. Christ. Sorry. So did you notice what Usyk did? He went low, got his arms underneath Joshua and started to lift, and it actually drove Joshua back. It went from Usyk on the ropes to Joshua on the ropes. Also, I want to address an idiotic comment I saw in one of my videos saying that boxing is clinching isn't part of boxing. You've never seen Usyk clinch. Right there, we just saw Usyk's clinch game. So shut your mouth. Come on. Very silly stuff. People say muscle doesn't mean anything in boxing. It's true to an extent, but it's also a lie to an extent. Let me break something down for you just with some pictures. Now, in the sport of powerlifting, you can quite accurately predict somebody's 1 rep max on a bench, deadlift and squat based on their limb length, torso length and the muscle on each limb and their torso. Now, the thing with boxing is it requires you to be dynamic, and I don't think there's any arguing that Usyk is more dynamic than Tyson Fury. Another thing that is a factor is your genetics, so the density of your muscle fibres, as in do you have more type 1, 2A or 2B, and your nervous system, because everyone's nervous system actually has a different capability. So you're born with the ability to jump high or run fast. It can be trained a bit, it's particularly running fast, but jumping high is an expression of basically how many motor neurons you recruit in a singular contraction. Okay, so those are factors, but when looking at these two fighters, obviously Usyk is more dynamic than Fury, so he can get himself into a more leveraged position where he can bend his knees, get his quads involved and his glutes, his hamstrings, and start to bully Fury round. The question is, does he have the strength? Now, with what I just told you in mind, look at Tyson Fury's limb length and torso length and look at the muscle mass on it. Okay, it's not very impressive, is it? No, it's not. It's not. I'm willing to bet probably Usyk probably bench more than Tyson Fury. Let's look at Anthony Joshua. He's way bigger and stronger than Fury. Look at the muscle mass. He's got plenty more muscle mass than Tyson Fury, no doubt. Yet Usyk was able to, when hurt, go from his back against the ropes to Anthony Joshua being close to the ropes. Are we to believe seriously that he cannot do that to Tyson Fury just because Tyson Fury has a bit more weight? I think Tyson Fury's weight is a huge disadvantage in this fight. If Tyson Fury had stayed in shape his whole career and was maybe 255 right now, I'd give him a much better chance, but he hasn't done that. He weighs 262. He seems to just absolutely lack muscle mass. Now, before someone says, well, Usyk isn't a body beautiful either, there's a difference between being a body beautiful and being this. And this isn't me disrespecting how Tyson looks. I think he looks just fine. I mean, if you look like that, no problem. It's, What I'm saying is, though, look at Usyk's delts, his biceps and all this kind of thing, and his back particularly. His back, his quads are far more developed than Tyson's. Now I know Usyk looks very flat at weigh-ins, but once he's had a fight, he's very pumped up and his muscles just he looks like he looks like a damn big dude, especially his back. I think as long as Fury isn't able to lean on Usyk, then Usyk can just push Fury back, and the £10 does make me slightly concerned. But I have to make a pick, and when I make a pick, I always ask myself, I do the calculation in my head, and I stick with that guy. So you'll see here I made a video, Joseph Parker will beat Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua will lose to Wallin. It's interesting because in that video I made a pick based on psychology, and I made a pick based on what I've seen in the ring. Psychology, one I got wrong, where I said that Wallin will beat Anthony Joshua because I think Anthony Joshua is mentally shot. What I've seen in the ring, I said Joseph Parker is going to school Deontay Wilder 117-111. That's what I said. I said it's going to be an easy fight. I don't see anything to trouble Joseph Parker with. I said maybe Parker goes down once or twice, but he gets up and recovers. In this case, forgetting the £10, forgetting the who I think's won the weigh-in and the press conference and all this, I'm clutching at straws. I'm reaching to find advantages for Tyson Fury in this fight, other than he can lean down on Usyk. I don't think he's got the better defence. I don't think he's stronger. He's not more dynamic. They probably hit reasonably. They probably hit about the same power. He's not as fast. His cardio isn't as good. His punch output isn't as good. His chin isn't as good. I know Tyson Fury recovers well, but we also haven't seen anyone then be able to follow it up. I think if Usyk drops Fury, and I think it's a strong possibility, especially now seeing the weight, I think Usyk's going in for a knockout. I think. I also have to ask myself questions like, okay, triangle theories don't work in boxing, we know that. But we've seen 5 mutual opponents of Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Joshua's knocked all 5 of them out. Fury's knocked one of them out in Dillian White. Now you could say, well, the Klitschko fight, maybe that shouldn't have been stopped. Okay, fine. He at least dropped Klitschko twice. And 2 of those fights gave Fury a very, very tough time. Fury had a tough time against a guy with similar dimensions in John McDermott, and many people feel like he lost. Similar dimensions to Usyk. He had a difficult fight with Wallin, Steve Cunningham. He's been inactive. He's not had a real fight in so long. He's gone up and down in weight. The drink, the drugs. It's all adding up to me to be an Usyk exhibition. I'm calling it now. I don't think it's going to be a competitive fight. Unless Fury cheats, I think this is an easy fight for Usyk. I don't know if I pick him by knockout. But I'm not sure, especially since we just saw Fury struggle with Ngannou. People go, well, he underestimated Ngannou. Well, then he better hope that he's at 100% now and that he was at 10% versus Ngannou. Because if Fury's at 90% now and he was 70% against Ngannou, well, he was 70% against Ngannou 100% now. He ain't winning this fight. Prime for prime, this is a pick'em fight, and Usyk isn't in his prime. But I think Fury's far away from that. I still think he's something of a force, but I think he's far away from it. I have to say, I just don't see how I can pick Fury to win the fight. The only thing in the back of my mind is Usyk weighs 10 pounds more now. Is that going to offset all these other things? Not in my mind, no. It might be an advantage for all we know. You know, yeah, that's my prediction. Usyk via whatever means might be a lopsided decision, might be a knockout, but I give Fury something like, I give him about a 10% chance of winning. You know, and in the build up to the Parker Wilder fight, there's things building up in the back of my mind as they always do. Oh, what if what if Wilder lands that shot? Oh, well, maybe you're just underestimating Wilder and all this kind of stuff. It's hard to cut through the noise, but if I cut through the noise here, I have to go with an easy Usyk win. If we look at Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford, Crawford had many of the issues that Fury's had. Inactivity, going up and down in weight, he had the car crash. Going up and down in weight and his inactivity was nowhere near as bad as Fury's, by the way. But he looked world class against world class opposition. But every opponent they had in common, Crawford dealt with better. You know, okay, triangle theories don't work and all this. But he tried to age Crawford out. He tried to duck Crawford and age him out. And it backfired tremendously. I have to ask, why hasn't Tyson Fury been fighting the real top guys? Why hasn't Tyson Fury been wanting to fight Usyk? Why did he duck him for years? Why did he duck Anthony Joshua? I'll try and find a quote. Let's see if I can find it quick. Okay, I can't find the quote, but Tyson Fury once said, if he fights Usyk, it's for the money. It'll be a sad sight because he's finished. Now people say, yeah, around the same time he also said he punched holes through Usyk, ha ha ha. When somebody contradicts themselves as much as Tyson Fury, you have to decipher what you think is true or not. And I think Tyson was telling the truth. I think it's for the money. I think he doesn't believe he's going to win the fight. And that's it. I think he's going to lose to Alexander Usyk. I'm going to stop waffling here, but yeah, let me know what you think. Have yourselves a good one. I hope you enjoyed the fight, and hopefully I can do a video responding to your comments. Thank you.